And welcome to Verbling class. Once again, my name is Libby, and I've been teaching with Verbling for a while, but I'm just coming back from a 2-month hiatus. I was absent for 2 months traveling, and I'm now back and very happy to be teaching on Verbling once again. I have thought of so many class topics while I've been away, and I really hope that you guys will be as excited about these new classes as I am. And as always, I love to hear your suggestions on my Facebook page, so please keep those coming. I really do read them all. And for those of you who have made suggestions, I will be incorporating them very soon. Don't worry. Today was a class that I really wanted to give because I find that one of the most important uses of a foreign language is for writing emails. So when I learned French, I had to write a lot of emails for a lot of reasons when I went to go live in France. And I found it a little bit difficult to know exactly what the expressions were and what the formalities were for writing emails. So I wanted to give this class so that hopefully, I hope that by the end of this class, all of you will be able to write emails the way that a native English speaker would write these emails. There are a lot of little expressions and little grammar things that you can work on to make your emails the most professional looking possible. I know that writing is something that a lot of Verbling students can use some work on. So I definitely recommend joining this class, even if you are a fairly advanced student, because I think that everyone can benefit from learning some grammar and some little quick, easy things to use in emails that will make your written communication a lot more professional. So we'll wait about 1 or 2 more minutes, and then we'll get started with the class content. Again, go ahead and click that Join the Class button, and I would love for you to join me today. It won't all be grammar for students who are in the class. We will be doing some discussion as well when we have some time. So I hope to give you all some practice at speaking and some discussion interspersed and at the end as well. So first I'd like to talk about just quickly about emails in general. Email has arisen in the last 10 years as a way to communicate. We now use email every day in our lives. I'm sure that all of you check your email every day or maybe multiple times a day like I do. You know, I have email on my phone. I'm sure a lot of you have that as well. So email is everywhere. And if you're dealing with anything related to English, you will probably need to write some emails to people. So I would like you to think about some cases in which you might have to write an email in English. So you obviously maybe you might live in the United States or somewhere speaking English, or you might live in your home country. In either case, I'd like you to think about some situations where you might have to write an email in English, and that would be important for you to advance your learning or to move to a new country or something else. So before we discuss those, I'd just like to meet those of you who are in the class. So let's see. It looks like we have Ismail, first of all. Are you here?
Yes, I am here, teacher. How
Okay,
are
great.
you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Fine, thanks.
And where are you from, Ismail?
I am connecting from Turkey. I live in Ankara. I am a public servant.
Okay, great. Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
And then we have John.
Hello, teacher. I am from Colombia. I live in Spain, in the south, since 12 years.
Cool, very nice. I was just traveling in southern Spain a few weeks ago. I went to Malaga and to Granada, and then I went up to Valencia.
I live in Murcia. Is near Granada.
Okay, yeah, yeah, I remember seeing it on the, on the map. Very cool. Okay, yeah, I love that region of Spain. Um, cool. Nice to
Me
meet
too.
you too.
Nice to meet you,
Uh,
teacher.
and then we have Mario.
Hello,
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. And what about you?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Yeah,
Where are you from?
I'm from France. Yes, and this is my first time with you.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Welcome. I was living in France this whole year, near Paris. I
Okay.
was teaching English in a lycée, and
Okay.
I just got back to the U.S. So
To the US. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And how long did you stay in France?
I was in France 7 months.
7 months. Okay. Yeah. Great.
Yeah. So I'm happy to. I did a lot of traveling, and I'm happy to be home. Yeah.
Also.
All right, and then let's see. It looks like we also have Melody just logging on. Melody, are you here?
Yes,
Cool.
I'm
And
here.
where are you from?
I'm from Puerto Rico.
Awesome. Cool.
Thank
Uh,
you.
I was there like 4 years ago for a week, and I really loved it. So
Very good.
awesome. All right. So cool. Well, welcome to those of you who are in the class. I'll make sure to make your ticket worth it. We're going to go over some grammar, and then I'll give you guys as many chances to speak and practice as I can. So, like I said, today's class is about writing emails. And the first thing I would like to hear from you is, why is writing emails important? What is a situation in which you might have to write an email in English that would be, an important situation to you? Can anyone think of an example?
Mm, I don't know where you're working. You have to write emails, for example.
Right, so
It's
business emails, of course. Good.
business. Yeah.
So any emails at work, if you get a job where your coworkers or your boss speak English, you will have to write those kinds of emails all the time. And okay, let's say you want to travel to an English-speaking place, and you make your reservations online and things like that. What is the situation then when you might have to write someone an email in English?
I think in this case, I don't know who is the person who have to answer my email. Am I clear or no?
Can you repeat in different words?
Uh, when I went to Oxford, for example,
Mm-hmm.
3 years ago, I sent emails for asking about the hosting, about the school, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And when I wrote this email, I don't know. I didn't know the name of the person who I have to write. I don't know. I didn't know the the person who read my email.
Yeah, good. So good. So that's a very good example. If you're going to study in an English-speaking place, you might need to send an email to ask questions about your program, to ask questions about where you will live, things like that.
Yeah.
And that's a very good example. Sometimes when you write an email, you don't know who you're writing to. You just have an address that says, reservations@marriott.com. And you don't know which person will be answering that email, but you do know that someone will answer it. And when you write an email like that, you can address it in a certain way. It's going to mute me, but I'm going to type it 1 second. You would address that email with "to whom it may concern," and then you would write your email. So if you're not sure who is going to answer it, you can say, to whom it may concern, my name is Libby, and I'm writing from blah, blah, blah. So good, that's a good example. So you might need to send emails asking about hotel reservations, asking about school programs, asking about jobs. If you want to apply for a job, chances are you might have to send an email to someone in English. So all these reasons, oh good, and Ismail says, shopping on the internet, writing questions by email. So a lot of websites have a section that says, contact us, and you can ask questions by email. A lot of websites now even have live chat. So when you buy a computer on the Apple website, you can chat live with a member of their staff and ask questions about the computer that you're going to buy. So a lot of stuff is useful when you write in English. So when you're writing an email, you know, the format is the same as you probably write emails in your native language. You start with a line addressing who you're writing to. Then you explain who you are and your reason for emailing them. And then you end with a closing, you know, sincerely, Libby, or something like that. So what I did for this lesson is I figured you guys would already know that. You know how to write an email, right? And you know how to write basically in English. So what I want to do is talk about some common mistakes that people make when writing emails, so that when you write these emails in English, or really write any letters in English or any kind of communication, I want it to be so that you guys don't have to make these mistakes that a lot of people make. Some of these mistakes are even things that native English speakers do wrong too. So hopefully this will be pretty informative for you to write the best emails you can to get those jobs and figure out those reservations, stuff like that. So here's the handout. If you want, you can open it on your own computer. It is a PDF on my class description there on Verbling. So find this class on Verbling and click on that PDF. If not, you can just look at it on the screen. I'll be showing it. So this is a bunch of different things that people wrote in emails that were wrong. These are not correct, each of these things. So I would like to work together and figure out which, you know, how these things are incorrect, and then how we would fix them. And in this way, we're going to learn how to structure and write a grammatically correct email and sound super professional when we do it. So the first incorrect thing that somebody wrote in an email is this: Dear all students. Dear all students. Why do you think that dear all students is not a correct way to start an email?
Dear students.
Excellent. Good. So you would not say dear all students. If I were writing an email to a group of students, I would say dear students. You can also even start an email by saying dear all. You can say dear all, but you would not say dear all students. It's just not necessary. It's clear that you're writing to a bunch of students. So dear students is a fine way to start your email. All right. The next one says, dear sirs or madams. Why is it incorrect?
Excuse me, teacher. Ali, please, you have a lot of noise coming from your microphone. That's why people mute you.
Yeah, so Ali, just make sure to try to keep your microphone muted when you're not speaking, but then when you want to speak, you can unmute yourself, if that's okay.
Sorry.
All right.
Okay, well,
Thank you, Mario.
All right, cool. Thanks, everyone. All right, so dear sirs or madams, why is that not correct?
I think is dear sir or madam. I think it's not necessary the plural.
Good. So the correct way to start an email that's pretty formal is to say dear sir or madam. This is, maybe you might use this if you're applying for a job. If you're doing something where you want to write a very formal email, I would suggest writing dear sir or madam. But the other way that I said, like I said before, you can write to whom it may concern. That's another way to write if you're not sure who you're writing to. To whom it may concern. Mono says, how can I open this link? This PDF is available on the Verbling class description. Hopefully I put it there. And so I'll be screen sharing it, but you can also just get this PDF yourself from the link on Verbling. Okay, good. So if you're not sure who you're writing to, you can write Dear Sir or Madam, or you can write to whom it may concern, and that's how you can start your email. All right. What about this next one? Dear Mr. Alex Case. What is incorrect about that?
I think the name Alex is the correct is there, Mr. Case.
So if it were me, I would start this email with Dear Mr. Case. He knows that his name is Alex. You don't need to tell him that. And this, if it's someone who you're trying to be polite to and you're trying to write a formal email, I would write Dear Mr. Case. But let's say this guy is your friend. What would you write then? How would you start the email? If Alex Case is your friend, how would you start the email to him?
Dear
Alex.
So you guys know that if you're writing for just to a friend, you would just write Dear Alex. What are some examples of times when you would write Dear Mr. Case? When would you start your email with Dear Mr. or Dear Mrs.? When would you need to do that?
In a formal setting.
Good. Yeah, so when it needs to be formal. What are some times when you would write a formal email? What are some specific examples of when you would write a formal email?
When we don't know who are writing to, we should use a formal writing style, I think.
Good. So if you you have someone's name but you don't know the person or you're not sure who you're writing to, it's always a good idea to use the formal style. So if I'm writing to an adult who I've never met before, I will always write Dear Mr. Smith, Dear Mrs. Alexander. So you always would err on the side of formal if you don't know them, and you can use their first name obviously if they're your friend. And it's also, you know, sometimes if I write to my college professor, and his name is you know, Professor Alex Case, I might write your email. I might write the email saying, Dear Professor Case, or Dear PROF period Case, or Dear Dr. Case if it's a doctor. So these are all important ways to start emails because you want to make a good impression when you start your email and you want the person to like you. All right, let's move on. So once you've written Dear So-and-so, what's the next step in writing this email? Well, you have to explain why you're writing. You have to tell them why you're emailing them. So let's say you say, this is Alex Case and I work for the BBC. That's not really that bad, but what's a better way that you could write that? What is a better way that you could write this sentence in an email? This is Alex Case and I work for the BBC. I'll give you a clue. The beginning, you could change the beginning. How might you change the beginning? This one's kind of hard.
So I think I am Alex Case and I work for the BBC. You know, this is Alex.
Good. So yeah. So you could say this is Alex. In this case, what this question is looking for is that when you say this is, it's sometimes more often used on the phone. So I might pick up the phone and say, you know, hi, this is Libby. Can I speak with so-and-so? In emails, more commonly, we would say, my name is, just because it's written. So instead of saying, this is Libby, I would say, hi, my name is Libby. My name is Alex Case. My name is Libby, and I work for the BBC. So this is good for the telephone. My name is preferred for email, but it's not a big deal. If you wrote this is, that's okay too. But I would suggest writing my name is because it sounds more professional. Okay, this next one is a little bit easier. It says, thank you for meet me last week. What is wrong with this sentence? Thank you for meet me last week.
It's kind of a grammar problem.
Good, it's a grammar problem. Which word needs to be changed?
Thank you for meet me last week. To have met me last week. Thank
Close.
you.
Almost.
But
it is the word meet that needs to change. The word meet is incorrect. In this case, the way you would write it is, thank you for meeting me last week. Thank you for meeting me last week. So this happens because we are thanking that person. Thank you for having met me. This person met you last week, and you're saying thank you for meeting me last week. So this verb needs to be put in the ing form. Instead of saying thank you for meet me last week, you have to say thank you for meeting me last week. Let's practice another example. Let's use the verb help. So let's say that your friend helps.
Excuse me, very difficult to concentrate on the class because.
Yes, teacher. I
Sorry,
couldn't
I'm not
you.
hearing too many sound problems, but let's see. So Ali, I think we're still getting some issues with sound from you. So please mute yourself when you're not speaking. When you want to speak, you can unmute your microphone, and if there continues to be background noise, I will have to remove you. Sorry about that, guys. For the moment,
Okay.
can you hear okay?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, cool. Let me know by typing in the chat if there are more problems with anyone's background noise, and we can try to fix that.
Okay.
All right, cool. So thank you for meeting me last week, is what we just talked about. Let's say your friend helps you with your English homework. And let's say this happened last week. Your friend helped you with your homework last week. If you were writing an email or a text to your friend to thank them, how would you write that text? Your friend helped you with your homework last week, and you want to thank your friend. What do you say to your friend? Thank you for what?
For helped me.
For your help.
For your help. To help me last week.
Good. So you can say thank you for your help. That would be using help as a noun. But if we want to use help as a verb, in this case, it's just like thank you for meeting me last week. We can say thank you for helping me last week. Thank you for helping me. Okay. This can be used anytime you thank someone for anything. You can use the ing form. It makes it easier than having to think about when that happened. Thank you for teaching me. Thank you for being my students. Anytime you're thanking someone, you're gonna hear that ing. So thank you for being here today. That's an example of when you put that verb in the ing form when you thank someone. So thank you for meeting me, thank you for helping me, or thank you for your help. You can also use that as a noun too. All right, awesome. So what about the next one? The next example says, thank you for quick reply. What is wrong with this sentence? Thank you for quick reply. What should it be?
For you.
Thank you for replying quickly, maybe.
For your quick reply.
Good. Yes, thank you for... So, using that ing thing we just learned, you can say thank you for replying quickly. The business convention for this is to say thank you for your quick reply. That just means thank you for replying quickly. Thank you, that was quick, you know. Thank you for your quick reply, or thank you for the quick reply. But you can't just say thank you for a quick reply. It's missing that article there. So thank you for the quick reply, or thank you for your quick reply. Good. So the next one is a little bit complicated. You're writing someone an email or a letter, and you want to introduce yourself, and you might also want to be polite at the beginning of the letter to show that person that you that you're polite, that you're a good person. And so you might ask them how they're doing, especially in an email. This sentence here, how do you do? How do you do is something that we say in English when we meet someone in person. We might say, hi, how do you do? My name's Libby. In an email, we don't use how do you do. Can you think of some other ways to ask someone how they're doing in written communication or in an email? How would you ask how someone's doing?
I hope you are well.
How is going?
So I think some of you may have found the answer key at the bottom, which is fine too, because I love to hear your participation. I hope you're well, or I hope you're doing well. How are you doing? How are you? How's it going? There are a lot of ways to ask how someone is doing. I like to say I hope you're well, or I hope you are doing well. I hope you are doing well. And that's a good way to start an email and show that you're being polite. And then after you've said who you are and you've said something nice, like I hope you're doing well, the next thing is to tell the person what you're writing to them about. And here it says, I write to you about. That is not really correct. What is a good way to say that differently? How do you say this? Instead of I write to you about, what can you say?
This letter, it's about.
Good. That's yeah. This email or this email is about. And let's see what else. Can anyone think of other ways to say that? Okay, well, the one that I would suggest is I am writing to you about. I am writing to you about the job opening, or I am writing to you to apply for a job. In this case, we use I am writing instead of I write. Does anyone know why it's more correct to use I am writing instead of I write?
No, I don't know.
Okay, let's say that you like to play basketball. When you are actually in a game and you are in the process of playing basketball, if someone asked you, "What are you doing?" what would you respond to them? How would you tell them what you're up to?
I'm playing.
You'd say,
I'm playing basketball.
I am playing basketball. You'd say, "Hey, I'm playing basketball." You would not say, "I play basketball." And that's because, does anyone know why that is? Why do you say, "I am playing basketball"?
Because you are doing it right now.
Exactly. So when you're in the middle of doing something, when you're doing something, you hear the hint there, you already hear it, doing. You always use ing with that verb. So, sorry, one second. Okay, just fixing something. Cool. So in this case, since you are actually writing the email in that moment, instead of saying I write to you about, you should say I am writing to you about.
Okay.
Good. Okay. I'm going to skip the next one, but let's go to we like to apologize for. So let's say you're writing an email to say sorry for something, and you want to apologize to someone for something. We like to apologize for is not correct. What is a correct way to say that?
We would like to apologize for.
Excellent. Good. We would like to apologize for. Would like to apologize for. Good. So that might work if you are part of a business and you need to write to a customer apologizing for something. So let's say you work for a company that sells let's see, cell phones. So your company sells phones, and you have a customer who bought a phone, and then the phone was broken. The phone was defective. There was a problem with their phone. You need to write an email to that customer and say sorry to them about what happened with their phone. Using we would like to apologize for, can you tell me how in a sentence you would write that to the customer? How do you write a sentence to a customer saying sorry about their phone breaking?
I would say, hello, we are, we would like to apologize because we noticed a defect about your product, and we would like to replace it without any ad fees.
Good. So I would say we would like to apologize for the problems with your phone. So, and I have a question in the chat. Is it appropriate to say we would apologize for and using ing? Yes, sometimes. If I broke your phone, I might write and say I apologize for breaking your phone. But in this case, because the phone just is broken, we would like to apologize for your broken phone. We would like to apologize for the problems with your phone, and we would like to replace it. That's very good. We would like to replace it, and if you want to tell someone that it's not going to cost them anything, you can say, we would like to replace it for free. So that means
okay.
For free means they don't have to pay. Or you can say at no cost. This is the business way of saying for free.
Okay.
So we would like to replace it at no cost. And that way you will have a very happy customer. So good job. Well done with that one, Mario. Very good.
Thank you.
All right, cool. Let's see. I'm going to skip a couple more, but let's go down to this one that says, you are advised to apply at your local ward office. So it's this sentence. This is giving someone instructions about something, and it says, you are advised to apply at your local ward office. What is wrong with the sentence? What needs to be fixed?
You will be advised to apply at your local ward office, maybe.
Good. So I had a little trouble hearing with your connection, Ismail, but I think you said you are advised, right?
Yes. You are advised,
Yeah,
or
good.
you will be advised.
Good. So you are advised to. That's another way of saying you should. So you are advised to is a fancy way of saying you should. You should apply at your local ward office. I actually don't know what ward office means. But anyway, you're advised to apply at your local office. So that's when you're advising someone to do something good. And let's go over just a couple more, and then we can get into some discussion, and I'd love to answer any questions that you all have about emails. But first, I want to go over a couple more really common mistakes that people make. This one's kind of funny. Please turn left. Why is it turn left?
Sorry, the question I didn't get you because your voice were
good. So
cutting.
why is it wrong? Why is it wrong to say please turn left? What is wrong with that sentence? What should I replace that sentence with?
It's like an order. It's
right. Good. So if, let's say, someone writes you an email saying, I'd like to come visit you at your house. Can you give me directions to your house? And if you're going to give them directions to your house, you would say, take the highway, and then take the exit, and then turn left. So when you're giving someone directions for driving or for walking, you don't need to say please because they want the directions anyway. So they're going to turn left anyway. So just say, turn left. When you give directions to someone, it's called the command form. You're giving a command, so you just tell them to turn left. All right, cool. Next one, again, is a very important thing that I hope we can learn from. Am I allowed to? How do I fix that? What's wrong with that? Am I allowed to? What should I say instead? Am I allowed to?
May I? No.
Good, yeah, that's a great one. So, am I allowed to is not correct, but may I is correct. May I call you tomorrow? That's an example. Am I allowed to is the correct way to say that. Am I allowed to contact Mr. Smith? Am I allowed to call the customer? So if you're asking for permission for something, you ask, am I allowed to? Another way to ask that is, do I have permission to?
What is the best way to say to your friend, for example?
To your friend, I would say, may I? If it's a very informal email, if I'm writing to my parents or to my best friend, I can also say, can I?
Can I? Okay.
Can I is actually not grammatically correct. According to grammar, you're not supposed to say it. But with friends in emails, I always say, hey, can I come over tonight? Or hey, can I borrow your bicycle? So can I is a very informal way. May I works all the time.
Okay.
So if you're not sure, may I is the best choice to ask for permission for something.
Okay.
Good. Goliath is asking, why can't we say, is it allowed to? A very good question. In a lot of other languages, you can say, is it allowed? In English, we consider that too abstract. I want to know if I can do it, so I ask, am I allowed to? So is it allowed to is not correct. You have to ask about yourself. So do I have permission to, or am I allowed to? Works all the time. So if I ask you, excuse me, am I allowed to am I allowed to walk here? Am I allowed to be here? If your answer is yes, how do you respond to me? How do you tell me that I can do that? I say, am I allowed to? And you say, yes, what?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, yes, you can, or yes, you are allowed to. Yes, you are allowed to do
Okay.
that. Yeah, good. Yes, you can, again, or yes, you may, works in every situation. So if someone says, I know this is a very common situation. If you're sitting at a restaurant in an English-speaking place, and someone comes up and they want to take a chair, you have an extra chair at your table. They say "Brrr," in English, and they speak too fast. Just say yes, yes you may, yes you may. Just yes, if you don't know how to say yes, you can take that chair. Go ahead, just say yes, yes you may. It's a good thing to say if someone asks you for permission and you're not sure a lot of vocabulary. Just say yes or yes you may. Another way that I like to say yes is sure, sure.
Sure. Yeah.
Sure is I say that as yes, also as you're welcome. If someone says thank you so much, I say oh sure. So that's another very common way to say yes.
Okay.
And that's also it's also appropriate to write sure in emails. So if someone asks you a question, you can say sure, that sounds great, or sure, cool. All right, this is another really useful one. Let's go to the next one here. The next one says, I would like to meet you on Friday afternoon if you are convenient. So I'll give you a hint. The first part is correct. I would like to meet you on Friday afternoon. The second part is not correct, if you are convenient. Do you know a different way to say that? What is a better way to say if you are convenient?
If you are free.
Good. If you are free. It's fairly informal. So if I was writing to a friend, I would say, I would like to meet you on Friday afternoon if you are free. Good. Any other ideas about
Can we say if you are okay, teacher?
Good question. I would say if it is okay, with you, you can say that. Or if you are okay with it.
If you are okay with it. Okay.
I would like to meet you if you are free. If it's okay with you. If you are okay with it. Those are all nice ways to say it. The most formal and the best way to say this in a business email is this way.
If it suits you?
Yeah, that's another good one. If it suits you. But my best suggestion for this is if it is convenient for you. This is an expression that we use often in business emails. So I would like to meet you on Friday if it is convenient for you. So if it's okay, if you're free, it's convenient for you. So you can use this in all kinds of suggestions. I'm trying to think of another example. You can say, I would, well, you can ask it as part of a question. You could say, if it is convenient for you, could we meet on Friday? Or if it is convenient for you, could I borrow your book? So if you're asking very politely for something and seeing if it's okay with them, you can say, if it's convenient for you. But with friends, it's fine to say if you're free, if it's okay with you, and then if it suits you is also more formal. So those first three are with friends, informal, and the last two are more formal for business. Any questions so far?
Okay, it's clear.
Cool. All right, good. So the next one is also a very common error. It says, please complete it until Friday. So they have something, and on Friday it needs to be done. So you're saying, please complete it until Friday. What is wrong with this? What does it need to say? What is wrong here? Please complete it until
please complete it by Friday. Could you please completely?
Yes, very good. Sorry, whenever I type, it mutes me. So,
yeah.
Please complete it by Friday. Good. Please complete it by Friday. That is a way of giving someone a deadline. So please complete it by Friday. Okay, this next one's also really good. The document attached, period. There is a word missing in this sentence. What is the word? What word is missing? What word do we need to add?
File?
Attached to email.
Yeah, so you can say the document is attached. So that means you are sending someone a document in your email. You're sending them a Word document or a PDF. You say the document is attached, or I have attached the document. I have attached the document. So those are ways of saying that you have attached something to your email. Or you could say, please find the document as an attachment. But I would say the document is attached is fine. So, yeah. All right. Cool. And then if you're writing an email and you're asking for something, a really good way to finish the email is by saying, I look forward to hearing from you. And that means you're hoping that that person's going to email you back. You're hoping they're going to respond. I look forward to hearing from you is awesome. Use it in your emails because it's very polite, and but not too polite. It's good for everything, and it's professional. So if you say to someone, email me back, that's for friends. That's for, you know, hey mom, email me back. Hey dad, email me back. But for anyone who is not your close friends or family, it's better to say, I look forward to hearing from you. That is the formal way to do it. So that's a formal way of asking someone to respond. Any questions about that?
Okay.
All right, cool. Let's do one last thing, which is how to close an email. So before you sign your name, you want to close the email by saying something. What are some ways that you can, what are some things that you can write before your name at the end of an email?
So I usually use best regards. Best regard.
Best regards. So on this sheet it says best regard. That is not correct. Best regards, comma, and then on the next line you sign your name. I usually use best regards. It's good for any kind of formal situation. Any other ways? Any other closings you can think of? Good. Well, I'll give you some. You can end an email by saying
Sincerely.
Sorry?
Yes.
I didn't hear you. Good, yeah. So sincerely, you can also say best wishes. A lot of people now just end emails by saying best, just the word best. And let's see what else. Yeah, sincerely is a really good one. I use sincerely a lot. Yeah, just regards is also good. Yeah, or kind regards. kind regards. Yeah, when I'm writing emails to my friends or family, I always sign them. I always sign them love.
Okay.
Obviously, you would not sign a business email with love, but your personal emails you can
Yeah,
sign.
for my boss, love.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're married to your boss, in which case I guess you could, but that would be a rare situation.
Yeah.
So,
Teacher,
yes.
when people write, for example, XXOO.
Yeah, so that is another way for friends and family to sign your email. In England, they use it the way you wrote it, XXOO. In the United States, we write XOXO, so it depends on where you are. And it literally means it means hugs and kisses. It's like
Thank you.
a way of, it's an affectionate way of closing an email. So it's usually used in the United States. It's usually used by women and girls, but actually in England, it's used by men and women. So it depends. But if you're in England and you're a man, you can sign your email that way with friends. But in the United States, they don't usually. So good. Yeah, that's another way of closing an email. Yeah, or Vincenzo says a big hug. I sometimes sign my emails with like hugs if they're close friends. So yeah, good. Lots of good examples. Okay, so we have a few more minutes. First of all, does anyone have any questions about anything we've gone over so far?
It's okay for me.
Good. All right, so I'm just going to quickly summarize everything that we learned today because we actually went over a lot of content, and I want to give you a summary on what you should take away from this. So when you write an email, whether it's to your friends, family, to colleagues, to your boss, you always want to start with a greeting, dear Alex Case, or dear Libby, something like that. You always want to explain your reason for writing to them. Say something nice at the beginning, like, I hope you're doing well, or I hope you're well. And explain your purpose for writing. So, I'm writing to you about blah, blah, blah. Then there's the body of your email where you might say, we would like to apologize for, or I would like to meet with you, and you explain your purpose. And then when you ask questions, you might say, am I allowed to, or do I have permission to, or can I, may I? You might ask them some questions, or you might tell them what you would like to do. I would like to meet with you if it is convenient for you. And then you might attach some documents at the end. So you might say, I have attached the form, or I have attached the document, or the document is attached. And then you should finish your email by saying, I look forward to hearing from you, and or just saying, I hope to hear from you soon, something like that. And then you end your email with a closing, like sincerely or best regards. So that is how you structure an email. I think most of us already know that. But this handout gives you some really good examples of how to write things. As you can see, in English-speaking places, we have certain expressions that we use a lot. So thank you for your quick reply. I hope that you are well. I would like to meet with you if it is convenient for you. So try to write down and remember these sentences for when you're writing to someone in English, because they make a huge difference in how professional you look and whether your email will be respected and understood. So again, always contact me on my Facebook page if you have questions. If you're writing an email and you're not sure how to say something, I'm happy to help you with any of that little stuff. So facebook.com/Libby Verbling. I love to hear from you guys, always. And then for now, we have 5 minutes left. So for those of you who are in the class, I would love to give you a chance to speak a little bit and participate if you would like. So I wanted to discuss if you have ever had a funny email situation. Have you ever received an email that you were not supposed to? Has anyone ever sent you something that they did not mean to send you? Or have you ever sent something embarrassing by accident on your email or on your phone or anything else to your coworkers or to your friends? Does anyone have any funny email stories they want to share with us?
No, no. Fortunately, no. It didn't happen to me, but I can imagine the situation. If you send the wrong email to the to the wrong person, it could be, yes, a kind of
It could
yes.
be very bad.
Yeah, it could be very bad.
So how come people do that? What makes people send it to the wrong person? Why do you think people accidentally send embarrassing things?
You know, sometimes it's like, you know, at work, maybe if you're a bit at speed, you know, you're in a hurry, you know, to do things, and you're in a rush, you know, and sometimes you can just send to the wrong person, but put copy someone else who don't have to be in this mail. You could, yes, you can make those mistakes, I think. To send an email
Good.
and
So
copy the other wrong persons.
yeah, so you can copy the wrong people. You know, when you're on your email in English. By the way, I would suggest setting your email in English if you want more practice, because then all the buttons are in English. You can learn all that vocabulary. But we can reply to an email, or reply all. Reply all sends it to everybody, and sometimes people accidentally reply all when they don't mean to do that, and then the wrong people might receive that email. So definitely being careful to click the reply button. And then when people are copied on an email, you can be CC'd on an email, copied or CC'd, and you can also be BCC'd. So CC is when you add someone to an email conversation. So there's the to line and the CC line. And then there's also BCC. Does anyone know what BCC means?
No.
I don't know.
BCC stands for blind carbon copy. So it means that you send an email to someone, but no one else can see that that person is in the conversation. So if I want to email my boss, but maybe I want my coworker to see what I'm emailing, I might BCC them. So it's a way of sending someone an email without the other person knowing that you've sent it to them. So you can CC someone, then everyone can tell who the email's been sent to, or you can BCC someone where they won't see that the email's been sent to that person. So in any case, it's important to be careful who you're replying to and not to click reply all, and then you will never send anything embarrassing. So, okay, cool.
Sorry, I couldn't understand. What is the difference between CC and BCC?
Okay, so let's say, okay, Ismail, let's say that I'm really angry at you. We're in a fight, okay? I don't know, you were mean to me and I'm mad at you. So I'm going to send you a really angry email. I'm going to write you a really mean email telling you that you're a bad person. I hate you, Ismail, and you're a bad person. And John's my best friend, and I want John to read this email. But I don't want you to know that I sent it to John too. So I'll add John on the BCC line. So Ismail, when you get my email, it will just look like I sent it to you.
Okay.
John, you'll get the email too. Ismail won't know, but you'll get the email too. So you can read it and you can know what I sent to him. So it's a way of sort of forwarding an email to someone without the recipient knowing that it went to that person. It's used a lot in business for privacy reasons. People will use BCC so that no one else knows who received the email. So,
Okay.
yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, that's all the time that we have. Thank you so much for being here today. For those of you who participated, I hope you learned some useful lines.
Yes, that was great.
Thank you, teacher.
let me know your suggestions. Contact me on Facebook, and I hope to see you all again very soon on Verbling. Thanks.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
teacher.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you, guys.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.